In this video, we're going to go through the most useful tools for pretty much every RuneScape 3 player. There's a few things around the internet and in-game as well that is super helpful for people learning the game and also for people that play this a lot. Like, even if you know the game very well, you want to be taking advantage of these things because it's going to help you out a lot along your way. This game's confusing as hell, so having access to these and knowing where to look to find things and get information that you need is very important. So let's start. First of all, we're going to talk about the thing that I use to price check items in my videos. And whenever I'm on stream and people ask how much something is, I will usually use this tool to do that. So if you're looking to get an accurate price of something from the Grand Exchange, then the tool that I would use is ellie.gg, which is a website that you can go on, type in the item's name, and then it will give you recent trades of that item. Now, this doesn't work for absolutely every item in the game. It's not like all the commonly traded things have that, because those G prices are pretty accurate. But the way the Grand Exchange works is, if an item isn't traded very often, when it comes into the game, it will have a given expected value. These expected values are usually way off, and so it doesn't reflect the actual value of the in-game market, because of course RuneScape's player base actually decides the value of an item, whether it's in high in demand or low in demand. The G eventually catches up if these are traded common enough, because it updates off of the average price, but things like the rare items or high level gear will not usually be around the price that the G says. This can be confusing as all hell for newer players, because you're like, hey, it says that this armor piece is 20 mil, when actually it's like 150 mil, and you're like, holy crap, what excuse me, what's going on here? So you can come to Ellie and you can enter the name in here and it will show you recent trades. Now, I always have to say, when you're looking at this site and like anything similar than this, you have to take it with a grain of salt and kind of like just use it as a baseline. Use it as like a little bit of a guideline, and keep in mind that this isn't an accurate price all the time. And these things could possibly, I've not really come across it personally, but could possibly get price manipulated here and there. Not saying that Ellie would do this themselves, but saying that, you know, someone might submit something and it turns out it wasn't actually accurate, and then it gets adjusted later on. So this sort of stuff. But this is probably the most common one that I get asked about, because one, there's a price checking bot in the Discord server as well, where you can type a little command in to get a price given back to you, which uses Ellie software as well anyway. But also you can just come to the Ellie website and enter it here too. So this is definitely one of the most common tools that I do use, because if you get a rare drop, for example, you can price check it and get an idea of where you can put that in the G to sell it. Because, for example, recently I got the codex from Vorkath and it examined price checked at around about like 150 mil or something. And then when I checked it on Ellie, it was around about 300 mil, and I was confused as hell. I was like, wait, is this actually right? Took it to Grand Exchange, popped it in for what Ellie said, around about 300 mil, and it sold. So this is definitely a tool to take advantage of, so that you know how much to actually buy for something, and then also you know when you get a drop what it's actually worth. Until the Grand Exchange actually gets something like this built into it, this is probably the best tool that's available at the moment. Quickly going to mention the RuneScape wiki. Now, of course, if you don't know about this is going to be for the very beginner players to the game. If you're learning RuneScape and you are looking for some sort of information, obviously you found YouTube and you found this video, so that's good. YouTube is full of loads of helpful videos and guides and all that sort of stuff, but the RuneScape wiki, if you haven't already accessed this, is a thing you can take advantage of for absolutely anything and everything in the game. If you want to look up a specific item or an NPC or a location or anything in the game, it will be on the RuneScape wiki. It is actually integrated into the game as well. If you click on this button down here, and you can use that to actually search for something as well. So while I'm not going to go on much more about this point, if you don't use the RuneScape wiki, you should give it a go. It is super useful. From quest guides to stats on an item, it has got everything you need. This next tool is something that a lot of people don't use, but may have some value to you, specifically if you haven't come across it just yet. That is going to be the Alt1 toolkit. I'll leave a link for this in the description so you can grab it if you want to, but this comes with many different tools that you can use in game. Now, just to name the probably most popular one is the Clue Solver. Clue Solver is basically exactly what it says on the tin. When you're doing clue scrolls in game, it'll help you with the puzzles and all this sort of stuff, and many other things while doing clues as well. It just saves you a lot of time and makes it a much more smooth experience. This is basically an overlay for your game, and it will just read what's on your screen and then give you like an output from that you can then use yourself. Now, Alt1 has many different uses as well. It's not just the clue solver, and I can't really go through all of them. It has something called AFK Warden, which will keep track of an AFK activity in game, and then it'll alert you when you have to click to basically make sure you don't log out. This can be very useful for things like archaeology AFKing, because not only is it going to tell you that you are close to the logout timer, but in archaeology, when you dig up an actual artifact or a relic, whatever they call them these days, the game will give you a dialog box that you have to then confirm to be able to continue going back to AFK, like digging in the soil, right? If you don't click this, then your character kind of just sits there doing nothing. But this will also tell you when you have that, so you can then head back to the game and like deal with it and then move on. So this is a super useful tool as well. So it's worth looking through the plugins to see what things you can actually use, but Alt1 is super useful for a lot of people. I'll link it down in the description, but there's one other thing that I want to talk about here too, and that is on the same place I'm going to link, is the model viewer. This isn't really a super useful tool for every single player, but it is a cool thing to take a look at, and I use it daily to get like item screenshots and whatnot, and many other things as well. But in here you can open your RuneScape cache and it will load up all of the item models and NPC models in the game. For example, if I wanted to get a screenshot of, say, Vorkath for a thumbnail, you can see here that I just type in Vorkath and then it will load up all the different options for the NPC. I click on one of these, it will load the model, and then I can rotate this model around to get a good angle and screenshot of that actual boss. This means that I don't have to struggle going in game and trying to line up stuff with the free camera. I can take it directly from here. It is usually higher res as well, and just much better and easy to organize. Now, of course, for many people, this won't have much value because not all of you making thumbnails, right? But this is still cool to know about, to look at your item models. You can look at your player character as well, and you can like change around the equipped items on that character to see what would look cool with different overrides and stuff. So I thought it was worth mentioning in here all the same. I like this thing a lot. I think it's really cool. It's something that you can spend a few minutes on just messing around with. Now, this next thing isn't really like a website or a link or something like that. It is specifically an item that you kind of want to own in real life to make playing RuneScape 100 times better. And that is going to be an MMORPG gaming mouse. Man, I can't tell you or stress enough how amazing these are for playing RuneScape, especially if you're PVMing. You ever looked at like my action bar or any other player's action bar and gone, holy crap, that is a lot of keybinds? I mean, I think a lot of people do think this initially when they start the game. There's a lot of keybinds to press. How on earth are you going to keep track of that? Well, having an MMORPG gaming mouse makes this a hell of a lot easier. Now, when I say like easier, I mean like, holy crap, it is so much freaking easier to play this game, and I don't think I'd be able to play it anywhere near as like well, I guess, as I do without this. Like, I probably would just, if mine broke, I would go and buy another one before I continue playing, because that's how important it is to me. On here, you're going to have numbers from 1 to 12, and then you also can use the Shift, Control, and Alt modifiers as well to then multiply that by whatever you end up doing. So for example, if you have 12 keys, 1 to 12, you can keybind those. And then if you press Alt and then 1 to 12 again, you've just got yourself another 12 keybinds, meaning just on your mouse there, with only the Alt modifier, you've just given yourself 24 keybinds, and it's all on your thumb. Now, these take a little bit of time to get used to, but I genuinely believe this is by far the easiest and best way to play RuneScape if you are PVMing. Now, of course, this may not suit everybody. You may just think, that looks ridiculous. There's too many buttons, man. I can't do that. And you know, it's fine. If you're happy with the keyboard, no problem. But for those of you that are like struggling with controlling so many different keybinds and doing full manual maybe, this will help a lot. And along the years of playing the game and making YouTube, I have suggested this to a few people before, and almost every time people come back to me and say, holy crap, man, it's made such a big difference that like I can't believe I didn't get one sooner. Thanks for the tip. It's completely changed everything. I can do full manual now, and the game is just completely like easier to do. Now, the one I use personally is the Razor Naga Trinity. This comes with a few other attachments as well for different games, but I specifically just use the 12 key one for pretty much anything anyway. But there's obviously many different brands too. You don't have to spend the higher price point to actually get the Razor one. Obviously, you could get all the different ones too. I just like the cushioniness of the buttons on this. They just seem easier to press than on some of the other ones. But if you are interested in checking these out, I will drop a link to it in the description. And of course, this will be an affiliate link, so it will help out the channel too. But honestly, I had the original version of this, the Razor Naga Epic, and then I upgraded that to the Razor Naga Trinity when that one broke. And now this one's a little bit like worn. You can see the damage on it from like using it for a hell of a long time and so often. And this one's also ready to be replaced too, because my daughter kind of broke it, but that's okay. We're going to replace it, and I'm going to buy the exact same mouse again, because I mean, it's the best mouse I've found. I'm going to just keep it, man. But that's how much value I place in this. I think it makes the game play a hell of a lot easier, so definitely a suggestion for anybody who hasn't given it a go. So is this the part now where I mention the mouse mats that are available on the merch store, and if you guys want to support the channel, grabbing one of those limited mouse mats with your RuneScape name on it would absolutely be the best way to do so. If you're interested, there's a link in the description or probably the pinned comment. Helps support the channel a ton while the content is a little bit dry right now. And of course, it's something cool for you with your RuneScape name and a little custom message and stuff on there as well. There'll probably be a pinned comment with a link for it if you're interested. But anyway, let's move on. And the final tool we're going to talk about in this video is going to be the Discord servers that players have built and actually made available for so many people across the actual community. There is so many amazing Discord servers that can help you get wherever you want to go and get into any activity that you want to get into, so you should take advantage of them. For example, you have the PVME Discord, which is the encyclopedia for all things PVM related. So if you're looking for any information on gear or boss revenue or anything PVM related, you can find it in here. You've got other things like the Raid School, the Player on Farm Discord, the AOD Discord, the Solak Discord, the Virago Discord. You could go on forever. But in my own Discord server, there is a channel that has a section for useful Discord servers. And in here, there's a few links that you can get into from some of the ones that I just mentioned. And of course, there's other ones as well. But honestly, if you just put a Google search in for RuneScape Discord servers, you'll be able to find a list of links that you can go from there as well. So check them out. If you are looking for anything specific, if you need one raids kill for your Reaper crew, if you want to get into raids, if you want to look at Virago, if you want to get into Solak, if you want to get all these different things, there'll be a Discord server that can help you out for loads of them as well. And then of course, finally, make sure you're in my Discord too, to make sure you get notifications for videos, stream alerts, and just to be part of the community as well. That being said, I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, leave a like, sub to the channel. If you are new, check out the merch store link in the pinned comment. Other than that, I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.